So my name's Rob Sandler. I'm from Leeds, born and bred. I've got a business. We do contract interiors, curtains and blinds is my day job. And I have a family here in Leeds. I've got a wife, Victoria, who works for Leeds Jewish Welfare Board, and two teenage kids, one at uni and one doing A-levels. I first got involved with the housing probably about 2005, which I think was when Sky House was being built. I was actually invited to quote for the curtains and blinds for the communal areas. So it was actually an invitation from a commercial basis, which very soon became an invitation to sit on the board, on the sub-board of building services. I'm sure that was a tactic by somebody at the time that was working for the housing. But I joined as a sub-board member on building services and really sat on sub-boards for about 7 years before joining main board. And I was on the main board for about 6 years. And they're looking to bring younger people in, and they're looking to bring people in with experience with property, with buildings, and through my work really that was, I think, why I was sort of highlighted as a candidate, but it was more learning on the job back then. So I'd been aware of the, really through family members that were either involved in the organisation, worked for the organisation, or lived in the community. So yeah, I was aware of it going way back. So at the time, the stock was ageing quite badly. There was a development of the master plan, the early sort of planting the seeds of the master plan. But really what the priority was back then is to look at the stock that we had, what was ageing, what needed replenishing for safety, and what needed replenishing for upping the quality of the homes. So that was quite rewarding really, to be able to say, right, there was a plan quite early on to replace every boiler that was over a certain age, every kitchen, every bathroom, and that was really the focus, was refurbishment. Yes, absolutely. So Sky House was the most recent building, and work was starting on Stonegate Way. So this was the first property that was sort of in construction, or maybe just coming to the end of construction when I came in. So I think in the early days it was really, like I say, bringing in some younger people that could, really be on the board for the long-term future. Building services was very much focused on maintenance and repair and replenishment. I think what really changed over those first few years was a focus away from buildings onto people. And that was quite marked and quite important. I think housing associations in general at the time were very much focused on property when they should be about people. In the early days, the master plan was being developed by the more long-standing members, but then 2008 happened with the financial crisis, and the finances behind that plan really meant that it just couldn't happen in the sort of 1, 2, 3 hit phases that it was planned for. So really all of that was on hold, and it was, like I say, that focus on replenishment and refurbishment. Sheila Saunders, the late great Sheila Saunders was fantastic. So she sort of brought me on and mentored me onto the board. She was quite inspirational. In fact, there's been some inspirational chairs throughout my time. But yeah, Sheila was the first one. Yeah. Sheila was a can-do person. She was definitely a person of action and enthusiasm, and that was quite infectious. Really, it made me think this is an organisation I'd love to get involved in, and I think that her enthusiasm ran right through the organisation. I think it's a one of the huge pillars of the community, to be able to keep people that want to be part of this community. They want to be near the synagogues, they want to be near the Jewish shops, they want to be near their friends, their family, and have that support. That wouldn't be possible for many people without the association. Really running right through the generations, from youngest single people, young families, the elderly. It's the glue that holds the community together is the housing association for many people. I was quite surprised, I think, really at the scale of it when I joined the association, as how many people the housing association supports. So yeah, I think without it, there'd be a lot of fracturing to the community. I think to be able to exist as a modern day housing association, I think small housing associations in this current political climate all have a challenge, all community associations, so not just Jewish ones, all faiths, are under pressure from government to merge. They see more efficiency in the larger associations, but what the smaller community associations give is so much more to those individual communities, but they also have to be aware of being not being too insular and being open and welcoming people from other faiths and other communities. Well, the running theme through my 13 years here has always been family houses, always been the challenge. It's been very easy financially and in terms of land to build blocks of flats for either general needs or extra care, elderly accommodation. Building lower density family housing, which is something that the boards have always wanted to build, is incredibly challenging for a community and association that's limited to a very, very small plot of land or plots of land. And also the way that housing is financed from central government to build low density housing doesn't really tick their boxes, but it's what the community needs. So that has always been a priority. I believe since I've left the board that's becoming even a higher priority, more likely to happen. I think it will go from strength to strength. I think it's got a really robust governance structure, which is very important. I think the fact that I'm an ex-board member is important. I don't think board members should hang around. I think fresh people coming in and fresh ideas, I think that's really important for its long-term future. Yes, happy 70th birthday LJHA. I think it's a fabulous organisation. I think the people from the executive, the staff team, right through the tenants, the volunteers, are really what makes it such a pillar of this community, and just congratulate everybody for all the hard work to get LGHA from 70 years ago to today, and hopefully in another 70 years my grandchildren might be recording one of these videos.